Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm featuring a baby card with a penguin family digital stamp by Rachelle Anne Miller. This card is dedicated to a little baby boy that came into the world on the 19th of April, a day after my little girl, well, a day and a year. So really special, but also from our dear friends. His name is Théo. But I actually created this card. I knew that I wanted to use this digital stamp because the mother in this case really adores penguins. So I searched for something in the Rachelle Anne Miller digital stamps, and I found this one just representing the family that they are right now, which is really cute. And so I started on this card already coloring the images, and then I had to wait a few days to continue because my little girl wasn't really sleeping throughout the day, so I still had to create a background and assemble everything. And then we were actually giving like the birthday party for my little girl on the 19th with her godfather and godmother, and the godfather is also a dear friend, and well, his wife, they are dear friends as well of of our friends that just got their baby. And I said, like, laughing because just the morning itself, the 19th of April, I finished this card, and I was like, okay, I'm ready for the baby. They can now announce that the baby is there. And so I even said it to the godfather of my little girl, and then the afternoon or evening we got the message that Theo was born, and I was like, I was really happy. We knew that it was going to be a boy, but we had no clue about the name and such, and it's just super adorable, and I'm hoping to see the little one really soon once father and mother and baby are settled down and they are just at ease to get some visitors. But I'm really excited, and I must admit that each time lately I have been creating cards with people in my head for who I was making the card, and it gives so much more pleasure about creating it and finishing the card when you know for who it is. Personally, for me at least, I can personalize it. Also last month I created a Father's Day card for my husband, but also a birthday card for one of my little neighbors. That will become 3 already this year, but I just know that they will adore the fact that there are some dragons on it, or dinosaurs, however you want to name them. And it just gives you so much more meaning on the card, and I know that they will love it. And in this case, being able to create a baby card with penguins, it's really made for them. I think they will know why there are penguins on the card, and it's just so much more fun. So I was really happy with how this card turned out. I actually had to color this image twice because I ruined the first one with some black markers that bled out. Well, not a funny side, but I was really happy about the colors, so everything was decided. I could quickly color this one again because I didn't have to think about the combinations anymore. So the image for the background, I went for an A2 sized panel using, as always, the basic rectangles by Mama Elephant, which is just my go-to basic rectangle. For the sentiment, I took the little star stem set by Hello Bluebird. Later on, I will also add some stars to cover up a bit of a thing that's bothered me. But for the colors of the background, I actually took my swaps here. It's actually really, like, this is a bullet journal that I never used as a bullet journal. I wanted to use stamps in it, but then I went all the way with the card making, and I just didn't have any time to figure out the bullet journal, and I was going to use the little agenda images by Mama Elephant, but again, no time left. For the background, I took the Cloudy Stencil by Fawn. So I masked off the edges of my panel, as I always do. I love that white border that you can create this way. And I started coloring ink blending You can see the distress inks on the top. They are also listed on my blog post. I actually put them together, as you saw, with like the samples that I have from all of the inks that I have. Well, I have 4 more inks because I needed the speckled eggs, which I'm not using here. But then I purchased like the combination of the 4 newer distress inks. In the meantime, there have been more, and I didn't purchase them. But I didn't even yet added like those 4 colors in my swatches. What I decided on doing here was to create like the background, but each time use 2 distress inks. Like I have this purple, but it's a purpley grayish ink. I'm really sorry. The purple on the penguins, it's like not a, for me, it's like a grayish purple. And so I decided to mix my distress inks. Also, the eyes that I drew in is kind of a combination of the Tumbled Glass and the Cracked Pistachio, in my opinion. So that was a bit of the idea behind these inks. I was each time going to combine them for each part of my background. So I'm just building it up, blending. This is also on Transotype Perfect Coloring Paper. It's not the most forgiving kind of paper to ink blend. If you struggle with ink blending, I would suggest using the Bristol Smooth cardstock, which is really forgiving for inks, even the distress inks, because distress oxide inks are already more forgiving than the distress inks. Normally, there can always be exceptions, but I knew that, well, when I started with this paper for my coloring, I struggled in the beginning to have a nice blend. It's just all about the build up here, and depending on how dark you are going, it's all just fine. So the little boo-boo that I talked about previously, that you cannot see at the end result, is like that on the right side, as you can see, like there is a darker part that is still going through my lighter cloud underneath, and it was really bothering me. So I was thinking, how can I solve it? The most important thing was to have a really dark area where I was going to put my sentiment. So that's why I have like this bigger, darker area on the right side, and I went a bit diagonally with my stencil. That was all intentionally, but it wasn't my intention to have like that little drop in those other clouds. So therefore I decided to take the stars from the little star stamp set, where I also took the sentiment from, but you cannot just put 1 star. Let that be clear. For me, that was not an option. So I took several stars that are in there. I took some filled up stars. I needed one that was completely filled to fix the tiny area that was really bothering me. And then I also took some open stars to just go in the background and to just let everything match together. So this little star is a bit lower, but that doesn't matter. So here I have everything like laid out how I wanted to. I'm going to put it in my Misty, make sure that everything is stuck on the Misty itself before I'm prepping my card panel here. What did I do? I already heat set it, that's why it's a bit higher up. And then I prepped it with some anti-static powder. There we go. I took my Versamark clear embossing ink, made sure to stamp it a few times to have a nice impression. Don't press too hard, because this lovely sentiment is delicate. If you press too hard, it can sometimes be a bit smushed and it's less readable. Is that a word? I'm taking my white super fine detail embossing powder by Ranger. I don't have a lot of embossing powders, I truly don't, but I have like the white, the clear, and the dark, and the black one from Ranger, all super fine detail, which is really important to have if you like these delicate sentiments, because otherwise it will be the embossing powder that is going to smush the sentiment and it will be less readable again. So I heat set my heat gun ahead of time that it would just melt the embossing powder without it like again being smooshed. Is it a word? Like otherwise I want to invent things like words. No, I use thin foam squares to add the image on top of my panel. Make sure to buff off the excess anti-static powder. If you forget it, it will just be a bit well, it will be a bit of a shame for all the effort that you put into the background. Let's be honest. So I'm just adding a bit more black to the eyes and then that white highlight. And then the only thing left to do is to adhere this panel on top of a card base. And my card is finished. I think it turned out really, really cute. And it's already posted, so I'm hoping that the parents loved it when it arrived, because I'm sharing this in May, so, well, it's gone. I sent it, and I'm really, really glad with how it turned out. Truly. I hope that you like it too, that it inspired you. Maybe you have some stamps that you can also use for another occasion. Use it and have fun. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you all an incredible day, and I hope to be back soon with some more videos for you. Bye!